This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by SaneBox, the best way to take control of your out-of-control email. For a free trial and a $10 credit, visit sanebox.com/MacVoices. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. MacVoices is in Las Vegas for NAB. I'm in the NewBlueFX booth talking to Travis about, well, everything you're showing. Travis, you got some really great effects here.
Thank you. Yeah, we're NewBlueFX, and we're a plugin developer for video editing applications. And that happen to be whatever editor you're on, Avid, Adobe, Grass Valley, Avid, whatever you have. And so we plug in our effects into those different NLE platforms. We have a lot of variety. We have about 280 some odd plugins that you can use. Some of the categories are titling, color correction, creative effects, transitions, for which a lot of video editors are thin on. And so, we really cover the gamut with a lot of creative tools. The main thing about what we do with all our products is we respect the user's billable hours. So that's how we design our products, to be very efficient to operate. And you get in, it's not effect diarrhea or parameter diarrhea kind of thing, but it's really the acute solutions that you need to get in, get out, and get that look you're looking for.
And that's an interesting point, because first of all, we all want to use too many of these things. That's the first problem. The second one is you got to spend all this time learning the ones that you do want to use,
right.
And pretty soon you've gotten really good at effects and you haven't gotten any work done.
That can tend to happen, right? That can definitely tend to happen. And especially nowadays, the shooting is all shot relatively flat, right? You have to grade, you have to color correct, and also the editor is more and more being expected to be the motion graphic artist as well, right? And having to take on that work. So the ability to make interesting lower thirds, interesting opening title sequences, some bumpers and stuff is now on the editor's plate. And really, to keep that margin up, you need to keep moving forward.
Do you have any thoughts on, how to make transitions, effects, the kind of things you do, enhance the production as opposed to override it? Because, again, it's like the early days of fonts for many people, I think. You wanted to throw every font you had into one document. And in video production, you don't want to overdo it, but you would like to add a little spice, maybe make it distinctive.
Right. We haven't come up with a taste governor. Right?
If you do, you'll make $1 million.
Yeah, maybe we should research and development that one. Yeah. The main thing is that we start with a lot of presets that we offer you to get you somewhere quickly. But in anything, we have a lot of corrective solutions. So we have a whole category called Video Essentials. And those are, problem solvers for acute problems. You got a particular object in your scene that's the wrong color, that's kind of messing up everything else. We can do a color replace on that. You have an interviewee that maybe they have a complexion problem for that day, and we have a skin touch-up effect that already isolates a mask right under the skin, doesn't mess up the eyes or the teeth or the blouse or anything, but really softens up that skin, makes it smooth. So a lot of problem-solving solutions that we have.
That's what we like. It's got to solve the problems. So what can you show us a little bit of?
Well, today I'd like to show you something that's coming out that's going to be at the end of the month. It's Titler Pro version 3. And we have some great workflow things that are really going to make good work of a lot of productions, especially if you're doing reality shows or a lot of talking head work, a lot of interview work. There's some great title management across your timeline that you'll have some some efficiencies in working with your titles.
Let's take a look.
All right. So what we have here is a timeline. It could be any video editor that you happen to be working in, right?
And just to be clear, for my audience, Final Cut Pro, it will work in Final Cut Pro.
Definitely will work in Final Cut Pro, yes.
Okay.
So we have one instance, and we have another instance. So we have this girl, and we have this guy. So you can double-click Titler Pro, and up pops a new feature in Titler Pro 3, and that's called Quick Edit. So right here, you can enter the text. Let's say Pierre. Enter, and if you close this down, you'll see Pierre is edited right here. Now, that's one level of convenience, but what we really want to look at is how you can import templates to control multiple titles. So I'm going to choose this Cobalt template, and notice that the template brings its own text parameters. So let me type Pierre into this one. And we can put into the subtitle, let's say, training director. Hit enter. We could preview it right here and see what that lower third is going to look like. If we go ahead and close that down, we can see right here in the timeline, this is what it's going to look like. So now let's go over to this girl and open up her instance of Titler Pro. And we can simply just choose that Cobalt template again, give her a name. Maybe Jennifer Hollister, and training specialist, let's say. And close that down. And now she has the exact same style, but different text. In fact, if we went to the first one, and at some point someone that's the creative director or the client or whatever that might be says, I don't want blue anymore. All right, well, let's go open the title designer and work on the title. So we can open up the title designer here, slide through, we can find that bar that is blue and go to the style tab and maybe make it orange, let's say, golden, if we will, and go ahead and hit close. We're given a choice. Do we want this aesthetic change that we just did to apply to only this title, or to the title template for whatever title's looking at it, it can receive that change. So we'll apply to the template and close that down. And so now we have a golden lower third here, and over Jennifer, we have that same golden lower third. So you can imagine the kind of work this really reduces. And not only that, if we open up Quick Edit again, you'll notice that every title in my timeline is already listed here. And I could change this name, Jennifer, or what have you. And it already shows me my text strings. So I can discover, someone's name's misspelled. Let me change it right here. And it's not closing and opening and closing and opening the dialogue all the time. It's all managed in one interface.
So you're managing it across the entire project, the names, the colors, the style of the lower third, everything.
That's right, yeah. And if you're working on a certain design, and you know what, I want to make this unique, you can carve it off from that template and make it a unique moment. Like the show open, something like that.
Okay, so I think I'm sold, because being able to do that would solve a lot of my... it wouldn't solve all my problems. It would save me a lot of time, though, and that's really...
Exactly.
That's almost as good as solving all my problems.
In a sense, solve some problems, too. I mean, we've all been in that case where we've worked on 20-some-odd different lower thirds, and then come to find out that the director, the producer, a client comes back and says, blue's out, gold's in, kind of thing, right? And I was like, I've just rendered all these titles, and rasterized them. Well, with the Titler Pro, you're able to make that quick change and continue the work forward, right?
That kind of thing never happens.
Never.
What kind of pricing? You just said that's coming out. Where do we go and get it?
NewBlueFX, NewBlueFX.com, and right here at the show time, it's a $299. Retail is $299, but we have 20% off on the website. So that's something to grab a hold of right away.
And the website is?
NewBlueFX.com.
Perfect. Travis, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Folks, we'll have more from Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner at NAB. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, app.net, Google+, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date with all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at MacVoices.com/newsletter. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at BackbeatMedia.com.